New tonight, a privately funded stadium could reshape the West End and give Cincinnati a global reputation as a home for professional soccer. But how much will it really cost taxpayers? I-Team reporter Dan Monk spent the past 2 months digging through FC Cincinnati's contracts for that new stadium in the West End and the practice facility in Milford. He found some hidden benefits for the team that may just surprise you.
FC Cincinnati President Jeff Berding is sure his stadium deal will benefit taxpayers.
We are making an enormous investment, obviously over $200 million in private investment. You know, again, we're going to be spending over $250 million privately.
But Berding rarely talks about another element of his stadium deal with the Port of Greater Cincinnati Development Authority, its lease, set to expire December 22nd. 20 months before the stadium opens.
It's structured that way because the Port Authority and the team and our lawyers came to the conclusion that that would be the best way to structure it.
They're essentially running a tax avoidance scheme for the well-connected.
Jeff Capel is a longtime critic of stadium subsidies. He says taxpayer opposition to past stadium deals forced team owners to get more creative.
What teams are doing then is saying, well, we'll build the stadium ourselves. We would just like some help in other areas. And then when you look at those other areas, it's often then land purchases, on-site infrastructure, off-site infrastructure, and big property tax exemptions.
FC Cincinnati's exemption is described on page 5 of its lease with the Port. It basically says the Port will seek a tax exemption that Ohio law specifically allows for port authorities that lease properties for no more than 1 year at a time. FC Cincinnati's lease is 360 days long, but it can be renewed every year until 2070. Is it a way to avoid taxes?
The Port Authority has tools that have been granted to it by the state of Ohio. It's a quasi-governmental agency, public agency, by the city of Cincinnati and Hamilton County. And those tools are to attract investment and development to a region.
The Port's CEO, Laura Brunner, declined to talk on camera. She did provide a statement saying most stadium projects in the nation, like this one, are tax exempt because they're publicly owned. She also said the Port can end the exemption by not renewing the lease. So in that sense, even Capel admits FC Cincinnati's deal is more taxpayer-friendly than the deals for the Reds and the Bengals, who will never pay taxes on their county-owned stadiums.
Well, I mean, if you're comparing it to the deals on the riverfront, any stadium deal is going to be better than that one.
Hamilton County's auditor lets you estimate a tax bill by entering a market value. We used $175 million for FC Cincinnati Stadium because that's the amount the team used in a separate contract with Cincinnati Public Schools. Based on the auditor's calculator, the team's actual tax savings from its exemption would be about $4.4 million per year. Dan Monk, 9 on your side.
Property tax exemptions are just one of the ways that FC Cincinnati's stadium project could impact local taxpayers. Check out Dan's full story over on WCPO.com to see how the taxpayer tab could reach $200 million in the next 20 years.